and he's like that himself, and all my classmates, and it's varied, it gives you the ability to do all of those things. And I said, I'm going to punch that up more than most actors do. He also had a saying that they were training us for a theater that didn't exist, because they were training us in the sense that that we were supposed to go to the National Theater, and do a repertory of different plays. And that doesn't exist in America as much as it does in Britain.
Because I've talked to other people from Juilliard. I mean, and it's no, they don't fuck around. I mean, like they kick people out.
Oh yeah, definitely. I remember a teacher telling someone, with that S, you'll never work in the American theater.
Wow.
Like with that S, one fucking letter, he can't say, he has a, man, they were tough. And some people, it changed because they thought it was a little too militaristic. It kind of set right in the pocket with me, coming from the football world. It was like a coach getting in your face going, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
You fucking get in there, So I kind of responded to all of that militarism. And Juilliard, going to Juilliard, the one thing I knew getting out of Juilliard was the fact that I would never encounter anything in the business that would fuck with me as much as this.
Did that turn out to be true?
Yes. Yes. I'm like, I'm prepared for that. Oh, that's some bullshit. Let me direct you,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It emboldens you. Yeah.
So when you came out here, the plan was to get some box office, to get some cachet.
Yes. And then I would be able to do more work in New York. That has worked out, that has worked out. I came out and listen, I, was kind of your troubadour,
Yeah.
on all these television shows and parts in films and all. And that gave me the cachet and the recognizability where people would then consider me for roles in New York.
So you never went through a period where, you were frustrated by the roles that you were getting in L.A.? That, like, the goal was always to go to New York and do theater?
I knew I didn't want to become a theater snob, only theater,
Sure.
Television and film is bullshit. I realized that that happens when people, they don't realize it's about good work. It's about good writing, In any medium, you can do some bullshit, right? It's really about good writing.
Mm-hmm.
And good material. So I started to focus on that. But I went through a period where I did every bad sitcom pilot for like a string there.
Yeah.
And then I got known like, oh, well, Wendell's available. He can do this, and I was like, baddie.
Yeah.
And I was doing, and it reminded me, you have to always remember, employment doesn't define you as an artist. It's easy to understand that when you're unemployed. I'm unemployed. Just because I don't have a job, it doesn't mean I'm a bad artist. It just means employment. But when you're employed and making a lot of money, but doing some bullshit, you have to be able to look in the mirror and go, employment does not define me as an artist. Don't think you're doing good work as an artist just because you're employed and making a shitload of money.
Right.
And I'll never forget when this final pilot didn't get picked up. I did about 5 in a row. And I told my agent, no more sitcoms. No more sitcoms right now. Nothing against sitcoms. I wish I was on Seinfeld, but this shit is not Seinfeld.
Right.
And they said, okay. And the next job I got was The Wire. That changed my career.
But it also gave you, like, that was a nice couple of years, huh?
Yeah, man. The Wire changed my career. It changed my life. Got to know great people. It's always about the work you do and the people you do it with. And we were able to change television. That writing was just great. It humbled me because we never got awards, right?
Right.
It really made you appreciate the work itself. I look back on The Wire. Our last season, we were praying we didn't get a nomination. We were like, let's go out without a nomination. That would be great.
And did that happen?
And it did. It happened.
That's it. But that, like, the fucked up thing about that should have gotten a Pulitzer.
Yeah, we got a Peabody. I think. Yeah, we got a Peabody, and it should have got a Pulitzer. For me, that's the real badge of honor. It's the fact that the work itself is so appreciated decades after now. It's 20 years, man.
Yeah.
The Wire started 20 years ago, and that I meet people every day that are seeing it for the first time, or they are huge fans that have that we can talk about any episode or any year, and I'll give them a piece of trivia or something they didn't know. And it's like peeling back. It's like an Easter egg that they didn't know about. What?
Yeah.
And they go back and watch the whole thing over again with a different appreciation.
I remember when I did it like I binged it early because I feel like when I watched it, like I remember watching 2 to 3 episodes a night alone, and I was in New York doing a job on radio, but I just couldn't stop. I just kept watching it. And I did it all at once, and I filled my head up. It was like 3-week process or something. It was great.
And, we were so separated in that, at least I was. Like, I never had anything to do on the criminal side. Being a homicide detective, you come in after everything is over.
Right.
So I watched the other part of the show like a huge fan, right?
Yeah.
I never had a scene with Avon Barksdale, the great Wood Harris.
Yeah,
I was only in a courtroom with Idris. We didn't have any direct scenes.
Yeah.
And so I watched all of those like a fan,
That's wild about acting, and I've noticed a little bit in my limited experience is that, you do your shit, but you don't know how that's going to come together. You don't know what the other people are doing. You don't know anything. Sometimes you don't even know I can see how I fit in on the paper, but I don't know how it's going to look.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, you're pleasantly surprised sometimes. Like, oh, shit. And you're like,
yeah.
Oh, I'm a linchpin. I'm a linchpin to the whole plot. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
The movie is on, when I give him the message. There's a message for you, Mr. Jones. Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's you.
The music swells. Boom, boom. Oh shit! It was me. I gave the message.
And so, but over the time now, like the Wire was great, but like you've had this opportunity in both, I think, film and television to work with a lot of great people, directors, other actors, and I mean, you're one of those guys. You're like, it's almost like I was reminded like, because. Like, for some reason, it got in my head this morning, like, there are these great character actors, like Ned Beatty, like these guys.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, definitely. Someone I was thinking about the other day? Ed Asner, man.
Oh, yeah.
The ultimate to me is someone who had one of the briefest careers because he lost his life at an early age. John Cazale.
Oh, yeah.
John Cazale did 4 movies.
Godfather.
Yeah, right. Godfather 2, Deer Hunter, and
Dog Day Afternoon.
Dog Day Afternoon. He actually did one more, which was great, which is he's in The Conversation.
Oh, yeah.
5, historic movies, and he lost his life at an early age of cancer, man. And it's like, that's it, man. I hope to look back on my, to a body of work.
Well, you got one. I mean, because my point was you're that guy, which is a great place to be. Where when you show up in something, if people don't know your name, they're like, "There's that guy. That's the guy. Yeah, he's in everything. That guy."
I appreciate that. And what happens is The Wire helped that immensely. And so, The Wire, Ray Donovan, I did Selma.
Yeah.
Malcolm X.
Yep.
Comedies like, Horrible Bosses. And
sure. You were in that bus movie, the Spike movie, right?
Yeah. Get on the Bus.
Yeah, that was great.
And Malcolm X, worked with Spike twice. I actually worked with Woody Allen twice.
On
showing up on Manhattan Murder Mysteries.
Yeah.
And I forget the other one. Every once in a while, Woody, he'd be shooting films, and then he's just like, "Oh yeah, we've worked together already, so I need somebody here in this cafe. I need her, need him."
Yeah,
and he just put me in.
Well, when you work with directors, like, because I've talked to some people that I imagine that the process of theater in terms of the relationship with a director is probably a little more rewarding than film. Is that correct?
Not when you have a good film director.
Uh-huh. What makes someone a good film director?
A good film director knows what you need as an actor. Like what, you need to service the role.
Uh-huh.
And they'll allow you to find that because they're dealing with a whole bunch of technical stuff they're looking up. Or if they don't have it, they know what to say to you to remind you, this is where you're coming from, this is where you're going to, because we're out of sequence.
Mm-hmm.
And then a good film director, because he's multifaceted, he's, multitasking, will make sure you're not shooting the scene like this. I told you,
yeah, of course.
I love it. You're like, holy cut, Wendell, you're out of frame. Come here.
Yeah.
Let's look at the monitor. You see, I understand that impulse to come over to him to get in his face, but you see where the camera is?
Right.
I need you to stay in the frame.
Yeah. Sure.
I don't need you to go right at that moment where you're about to kill him, go, I'll fucking kill you.
Right. Yeah.
You're like,
stay still.
Yeah. Come and see it so you can, and that's good because in theater, where the edge of the stage is, when you're out of your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the director needs to do that because they're the outside eye. There's some directors in film that know nothing about acting, and they allow you to do your work, and they'll come and tell you, I need to understand in this moment why he makes the decision that takes him for the rest of the film.
Mm.
And like, oh, okay. He gives you the idea of he knows what he needs
right
in the moment. And he knows that you're skilled enough as an actor to create all the things necessary within your way of working to get there. Right.
Right.
And he'll admit, or she'll admit, I can't give you that. Because right now I'm looking at, the lighting. I'm looking at the shot, the movement on the camera. And, I hired you to do the acting. Right. And so I can appreciate those directors.
Right.
But a director who knows nothing about acting and then can't give you anything, and they're just technical, those can be very frustrating. And that happens on the stage too, because what happens on the stage is you have directors who then want to make sure that the audience knows that the director put their hand in this moment,
Right.
All of a sudden you're like, I'm playing this. So yeah, but right as that moment's going to happen, the set is going to swing from left to right in the stage. I'm just like, why? Why? Let the moment do it,
Yeah.
You're my daughter and my sister. What?
Yeah.
That's enough, Yeah. The set doesn't have to fall apart in your idea of, man, I saw a play and I'll never forget. And something between scenes, the lights would go half, but there was something bothering me in the lights and I couldn't tell what it was. I couldn't tell what was going on. And then I realized halfway through, between every scene, the director had put a faint image of a clock with the second
yeah.
hand going around. I'm like, we know time is passing, man. We don't need a fucking light telling us, as time goes by. I'm like, this is the director going, I got to put my hand in it. And that's really bad in the theater. It's just kind of like arbitrary direction, just so that people know it's a directed moment.
It's overcompensating.
Yes. But my greatest triumph in theater happened this past year. And that was doing Willie Loman in Death of a Salesman in London.
Oh, yeah. You got nominated for the Olivier, huh?
Yes. And that was...
Why that play? Why that guy? What is it about it?
It is the greatest, the closest thing to acting is psychology. Acting is study of human behavior.
Yeah.
It's really the study of human behavior. And that case study of Willie Loman in Death of a Salesman goes very deep. If you give yourself over to it, it triggers it. You do some personal reflections and you tap into some of your personal issues that this man has at the same time. And it can really affect you.
Like what?
Are my best days behind me?
Mm.